Um, you don't know this, but this is take number 4. A couple of things. Yes, I've been away from the channel for a little while. No, I've been more than 2 months, if I'm not mistaken. And it was really just me wrestling with myself, wrestling with my own thoughts, wrestling with my what I feel are my own inadequacies and own fears, things like that, um, and my self doubt, all of that, right? And basically that's kind of been it. A little backstory: when I started this channel a long time ago, like 2020 or 2023, I think it was May or June or something like that. I had this, hey, this is kind of what I want to do, and the Lord bless it. And multiple times, not just once, multiple times, we've received confirmation. Yeah, go do it, go do it, go do it, go do it, do it. You need to be doing this. This is what you should be doing. Multiple times, right? If you look in the book, it is the book of Exodus, and you look at Noah. Sometimes I'm gonna just be like, look, man, I can't speak. If you look at Moses, excuse me, when he was leading everybody out of Egypt, he was like, nah, you've got the wrong guy. God, I am not the dude to be doing this. And I feel the same way about myself. One, I'm not a scholar, and so what am I doing on YouTube or what's the other one? Rumble. I'm on both, but what am I doing on there? And well, basically, I'm just preaching the good news. I say preaching, and I say I'm not a preacher, but sometimes it feels like I am. But spreading the gospel, right? Okay, what's wrong with that? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with that. Okay, well, if that's going to be the case, and well, I also can't pronounce everybody's name in the Old Testament. Yeah, I'm not the only person. I found that out. There, I've got a pastor. I was talking with a younger guy. He's a what is he? He's a music pastor. But I was talking with him. I was like, dude, I can't pronounce like half these names, and it was driving me nuts. And I'm like, dude, I'm not perfect at this. I'm not. I don't think I'm adequate enough to be doing this. And he's like, dude, nobody can pronounce those names. And I'm sure there's people out there that can. Don't get me wrong. There's people out there that can, say all this. Not me. I'm not that guy who's I have to go over these names sometimes, and I'm just like, dude, I don't get it. But yeah, I can't pronounce half the people's names. Okay, and you know what? We get through it, and we keep going. Okay. Well, also, I'm not really sure if, um, again, this is all this doubt coming in. Hey, I'm not sure if, what if I say something wrong? What if I come across, excuse me, what if I come across and I'm like, you know, God is loving and He's perfect and He wears sandals and socks, and I'm like, whoa, 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 that's not the case. But I mean, He could be, and you go back and forth. I remember a long time ago, I was down in Mexico. I was on a mission trip. Had a great time. Um, but anyway, I spoke during one of those nights that we were down there, and I was, giving a message, and I was done with it. I was like, I don't know if anybody was paying attention because everything I was saying was getting translated and going back and forth, and I'm like, okay, what I was saying, did it translate properly? Did it go over their heads? Was it even worth listening to? Stuff like that. And one of my friends, he was like, look, you're out there, you're preaching the news, and it's not like I don't study. I do study, but sometimes it just up in here it doesn't always make the connections. And so I was asking him, I was like, dude, I don't even know if any of this made any sense. And he's like, look, the Holy Spirit is going to use whatever you say. and if you're praying for it, praying over the message, and doing your research and things like that, look, God's got this. Like, what are you even worried about? God is taking care of it. And so, you know, if it fell on deaf ears, then it did. If it did not, then hopefully they got a good message out of it. And that's not, I've talked to other people. I talk to people all the time, actually. Not like preaching or whatnot, but I talk to people all the time, and for the most part, I think I'm doing, like, I would say, I'm not perfect by any means. Okay, I'm not, um, but I would say 90% of the time, right? I'm saying the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. Um, I say right, but really, I'm just trying to be obedient as much as possible, and um, either giving encouragement or praying or um, giving correction. I'm not a leader by any means. I'm just a dude. I really am. I have no position in the church. I have. I'm on the worship team, and that's it. That's how most people know me, besides my kids. You know what I mean? But that, I mean, I don't go around like preaching. That's not what I do. But I do talk to a lot of people, and most of what um, comes out of my mouth or their mouth or um, whatever it is, it's either agreed upon, or we can look at it in certain during conversation or something like that. And if we disagree, that's okay. But uh, I would say 90% of the time, I love to say 90%. It's probably more like 65. You know what? Let's give me a 70. I have no idea. But I try to do the right thing, and I try to be obedient. Try to say and do the right thing. So, but yeah, I'm not a preacher, and so what am I doing here? All right. Um, well, if that's the case, God, and I know it's like example number 3, and I just elongated all of it. But if that's the case, God, um, what am I doing? Am I going to be different than some of the other preachers that I've seen, or some of the other people that I've seen on YouTube, or what are you having me do? I have this kind of idea, but how do you feel about it? And I've been given a green light, honestly, and I I know what it feels like uh, to hear you've missed your opportunity, and I don't want to do that again. It's crazy, y'all. Like, this is my brain for the past like 4 months or something like that. But um, I got a lot of, hey, you're not good enough. This is not you. Whatever you're saying over here. Evidently, I'm just waving my hand. But whatever you're saying over here, like, this isn't right. And I'm like, but I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I'm supposed to be doing, this. And so here I stay, stuck in my head, stuck in my thoughts. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are the same way, stuck. And you go over these different uh, you know situations, or oh well, this could, this is could be what they think is going on, and I'm really not trying to preach that, and or whatever. I say preach, but you know what I'm saying. Or teach that, I guess. And oh well, they could be thinking this way, and what if I say something wrong and this person starts, rainbow effect, uh just whatever the effect that was. But it, goes from one person to like 100 people, and now all this information is wrong. um and that scares me. That seriously scares me. The problem is I don't have all the information. Okay, let's try that again. The problem is um that Well, I think that's correct. I don't have all the information. Two, I sometimes don't take the time to study deeply. Um, Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. There's a couple places in the Bible that I'm go right down into that rabbit hole and try to figure that out because I want to make sense of it. My mind wants to make sense of what my heart's feeling. Does that make sense? And so that's kind of what I've been going through for the past 2 months. Now, why I haven't posted? Well, that's the same story. Kind of is. I remember I was trying to do this every day, and that's impossible. Especially with my schedule, it was just impossible. Okay, so what if I do Monday and Tuesday, or just Tuesday, something like that, or Tuesday and Wednesday, or excuse me, I can't remember how it went. But what if I do a couple days a week, Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever the case, and it's like working out or having a New Year's resolution. You miss one time, you're like, oh, okay, now I've got to go do this, twice as much. And then, oh, hey, you've missed that whole week. You're like, oh my gosh, now I have to do like 40 times as much. Not that was the case, but you're having to do a lot more. Or that's how your mind thinks. You're trying to play catch up. And I don't think that's ever going to be the case. I will never catch up after 2 months. But, if you get knocked off your horse, okay, dust yourself off. Get back on the horse. I've always told people it's not that you're going to get knocked off the horse, right? Because that's going to happen. But how do you fall? Do you fall, and you land on your feet, or you do a rollout, or you land straight on your back, and like your air goes out of your lungs, which rough. Do you break your arm? What how are you landing, right? And that comes with community, that comes with friends, that comes with communication on my part and their part, with trust and honesty. There's a lot that goes into it. But um, it's not that I haven't fallen away from the Lord. I haven't. I have not fallen away from the Lord. Um, my legs are shaking, but I've been in church. I've still been reading my Bible. I've still been, teaching classes, um, but I just didn't post anything online. That's been the biggest difference in my life. Also, I had like family down for a month, but I don't count that because I could have posted anytime. I just didn't. So, but yeah, I'm trying to be transparent as I can, as this is sometimes how Christians are. We're not perfect. We do not claim to be perfect. If there's a Christian out there that claims to be perfect besides Jesus, they're wrong. And they are not. If you're saying you're perfect, that means you don't need God. And that's not the case at all. I don't know all the answers, and I'm glad I don't, because if that was the case, then I wouldn't need God again. God has given me so much. He's given me, man, I got a story for you. Just not now, but he's blessed me beyond what I thought was possible. And there's an old saying that you can't outgive God, and it's fun to try. It is a lot of fun to try, but you can't. He knows way too much. Well, he knows everything, so that would be way too much. But you understand what I'm saying. So maybe going forward when I read, um, I have no idea what we're on. Genesis something at this point. I haven't looked at the page. I haven't done anything, but I know we're at Genesis something, 20 something, if I'm not mistaken. But it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to be perfect. The problem is you see YouTube and everybody's like, oh man, this guy's not perfect, or quick to judge. I guess maybe sometimes, I'm not sure. How about we don't be perfect? How about we just live our life. Half the time I'm not on Facebook. Facebook makes me miserable. I see everybody all happy and whatnot. Not saying that's wrong. I love happy people, and I'm glad they're doing great. But I will never see the struggle behind it. You know what I mean? Um, I'm just trying to be real. That's all. As much as I can be. So I love you guys. I'm sure there's more stuff that I forgot. I'm sure I'm gonna have all of these, running through my head tonight or whatever the case. But it's okay. God has taken care of me this far in my life. I'm sure He's gonna continue doing so because He has in the past, and He hasn't faltered at all. Not even close. Even though sometimes it feels like He's not here, dude. God, where are you at? Dude, I'm like right here. So anywho, I love you all. Be cool to each other. Stay safe out there. Beep, ba, ba, boo, ba, ba. Do that quite a bit too. You have no idea. Sometimes that's take 14. We just don't know. But be cool to each other. Stay safe out there. God bless. Love you.